All right, let's do activity 16. We're going to do Visual Basic, which is a real nice thing to know, and this is real simple. So we're going to do it with Excel. I don't think there was any problem with the Mac users for this in my previous classes, so let's knock on wood and hopefully that'll be true. First thing you want to do is open an Excel worksheet, and we're going to name it Activity 16. I already have one that I opened and named Activity 16, and I actually don't want to open it again, so I'm going to open Excel. Okay, there's my Excel spreadsheet, and actually this is important, this developer tab is already here. So let me minimize this, and the next step says enter the VBA editor by pressing Alt F11 and press F5. Okay, so hold my Alt key down, which is next to my space bar, and F11, and let's see, there it comes. And what we want to do is press F5 and give it the macro name Coin Flipper and create. Now notice, this is a subroutine. So saying here's subroutines called Coin Flipper. Normally inside these parentheses you would be giving it arguments like values that it might have to use, but in our case Coin Flipper doesn't use them. And then we're going to do end sub. Then what we're going to have to do is we want to copy the code from the Word document. And since sub is there already, we don't need to catch it. Now notice there's a parenthesis, not parentheses, there's a apostrophes here. Apostrophes tell the computer that this is a comment. Anything that follows apostrophe on this line doesn't get paid attention to by the computer. So I'm not going to collect end sub either. I'll just Control key C, or you can right click and do a copy. And but I'm not going to do the end sub and all that because it's already in there. And see its place, I'm going to do Control V, or you can right click and do a paste. All right. So the first thing this code does, let's walk through the code. The first thing it does is it goes through each row. So let's look at, okay, so let's do it this way. I'm going to take out some of this code. All right, so I'm going to Control exit. And then what I'm going to say, instead of null, I'm going to put in 1,000. All right. And then what I want to do is I need to go into my thing here, and I'm going to go into developer, and we're going to insert and a form control. All right. This is later in your thing too. So I'm going to make this is just make a button. All right. And I want to connect this Coin Flipper to this button. So I'm going to double click on Coin Flipper, and there it is. And I'm going to rename it. And let's call it flip. Let's call it first try. All right. Now, what this says is from row 1 to 100. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go all the way down to 100, and it's in column 1 through 4. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to go column 1 according to the code, row 1, column 1, put 1,000 in there. Then I'm going to loop through all the columns. So it's going to go this way. All right. And instead of 100, let's make it 10. So make it for the first 10 rows. Or let's just make it the first 3. Now this should work. Let's see. I need my Excel thing. And let's say first try. And there. Okay. So what it did was it said first row, go to columns 1 through 4 and put 1,000 in there. Second row, go to columns 1 through 4 and put 1,000 in there. Third row. So that's what that did. All right. So let's take out, let's take this code out. So I think we can do Control Z. We'll change it to what it was. Okay. So that just put all my code back. So what it's going to do is, like we put 1,000, what it's going to do instead is it's going to put a null value. So it's going to empty it out. That's what this first part of the code is doing. Now we're going to calculate the spreadsheet. That's what this is called. So we're going to go from 1 to 100 in the first column. So from row 1 to 100, go to that cell, go to row 1, column 1, and put the row number. So what we're going to do is number the first thing. So let's do that. I'm going to take the code out again. All right, and let's run the code again. And we should see 1 to 100. So first of all, these are going to get nulled out. That's what this code's going to do. Then we're going to start calculating. We're going to go 1 to 100 on these. So let's try it. All right, and see what it did is says for row 1, column 1, put the row number in. So that was row 1, row equals 1. So this is what row equals 1. When row equals 2, go to row 1, column 1, and put the row which is 2 in there. So see, this is what that's doing, and it should go from 1 to 100. Okay, so that's what that code's doing. Let's go back to the code. Okay, so what it wants to do now, what it's saying is get a random number. If that number is less than 0.5, then what we're going to do is put a 1 in that row. So we're going to throw it 100 times. We would put it in row 2. If it's a 1, if it's less than 0.5, we're going to put a 1. Otherwise, we're going to put a 0. So what I want to do here is, let me take this out. And I'm going to change this code so that what it's going to say is going to show us what R is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put R in column 3 because we're only using column 1 and column 2 right now. So I'm going to say cells, row, column, comma, 3, that's what column is going to go to, equals R. And let's see if we can do that. Let's see how that works. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so here's the number. This is the number that we're getting from the random number, and see if it's under 0.5, it's going to put a 1 here. So this is all less than 0.5, but this was over 0.5, so it puts a 0. All right, so that's what this code is doing. And I'm going to Control Z it, gets rid of where I was going to put it. All right. Then what it wants to do is it wants to count. It's going to count the number of ones that are in that column 3. Column 2. So it's going to count the number of ones and put it in column 3. We use column 3 to hold our random number, but now we don't care about it. So because we have to count that 1. Because we have to count that, we're going to have to do the first one by itself. So let's just take this off. Let's take off the rest of the code below the cells and just see what it does there. Okay, it's like first. All right, so what this said is, we're right down here. In cell 1, in row 1, column 3, right here, put down whatever's in cell row 1, column 2. That's because we're just doing these zeros and ones. And we want to count the number of ones, so it's easy. We just keep adding. We're going to keep an accumulated adding of everything in here. If it's 0, then it's not going to increment the number of ones, right? So let's take this, let's put the code back. And let's just do it from 2 to 4. Okay, and let's run it. All right, I still have, let me take this out so I don't do any confusing things. All right, so we do this, and it's a count. So we said 1, and then we're going to add the 1. So we go back here and add this 1, so that gives us 2. And then we add this to this number. So this number and this number, we seed this number by putting it in first. Then we're going to take this number and add this number to it and put it in here. So we're going to take this number, add this number in it, and put it in here. Take this number, add this number, and put it in here. And we do that all the way down. That's how we get the total count of ones, because if it's a 0, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to Control Z this to get it back to what it was. And let me Control Z it again because I want this to be 100. Okay. Oh. All right, so I'm going to have to copy it again. I Control Z it a little too much. So let me go back to my code, Control C, go back to my Excel spreadsheet, Visual Basic, Control V, there we go. And we can do this. I know this will figure out the whole thing. And this is the percentage. There's 47% of these were heads. So we're going to say ones are heads. All right. The developer tab, that's what we're looking at in number 5. It was already there. But if you didn't have it in here, you can look at File, and you can look at Options, and then you could say Customize Ribbon, and then this should be clicked. Okay, then you say OK, and then it shows up. But ours was already there, so it didn't matter. And like we said, we did the developer was Insert, and you pick that, that's a button. And click on there, and then you're going to associate it with the that code. Okay, so now looking at it, did it run correctly? Yep, it sure looks like it. And we want to collect this, and hold your Control key down and click on D. And what we want to do is an insert. Not insert. We want to do insert up here. Insert, and we're going to look at charts, and we want to see scatter, and we want to see smooth line. And that is how the graph went. That the farther, see, the more we were getting throws, the closer it was getting to the 50%, which is what we'd expect to see. Let's run it again. Up here. Okay, I moved the chart. I'm not going to change the stuff. You change the stuff. Try it again. And the more numbers we get, it should be clustering around this 50%, which is true. And look, it's going to 100. It's going to shoot off there in a second. Okay, go to 100. All right, that's our XY chart. Okay, so then we run it a few times, which we did. Now we want to change the code. And we want the code to go to 125 instead of 100. Now, easy way to do that, edit. And then we're going to replace. And we want to replace 100 with 125. I believe there's 6 replacements. And we say replace all. Okay, and there's 6 replacements made. We say okay. And look, because what we wanted to do is we're saying for rows 1 to 100. Well, each row represents a throw. Now we want row 1. We want 125 throws. All right, and so all we have to do that is go back and run it again. And this numbers, the graph should extend all the way to 125. And again, the more throws there are, the more it's going to get close to 50%. All right. Let's do it one more time. Let's change the code. And instead of 125, let's make it 1,000. Okay, so edit, replace 125. We're going to replace it with 1,000. And replace all. Okay, 6 replacements, which is what we expected. Let's go back and run it. Whoops. Okay, hit the first try. Now this should shoot out to 1,000, but it's only going to 120. That's kind of interesting. When this clears, let's go down to the bottom and look at the number that we did actually throw. Okay. Okay, there are 1,000 throws, but the code. Let's delete this and let's do our insert again. So click on A, then hold your control key down, click on D, insert, scatter, smooth lines, and there we go. See? So it's getting very, very close to the 50%. And that's what we expected to do. Now what I need you to do, oh, there was one other thing that he didn't like the values. He wanted to switch it, so he wanted to be 0 instead of 1. So let's go back to the code. Here we go. We can close this. All right, so what he's saying is instead of ones, he wants it to be 0. If it's less than 0.5, instead of ones, let it be 0. So we're going to change the code in the comments because that's important. You need to know like what's changed. There's 2 ways we can do this. We can do this. We can just change it from less than to greater than, which is the easy way to do it. Or we can say if it's less than 0.5, then change it to 0. If it's more than that, then change it to 1. That's another way to do it. Let's run it. First try, or I should have changed that one. Okay, there goes the percentages, and it should get, the more we throw, the closer it should get to 1,000. Still running, as you can see. Okay, so this is how you do activity number 16. We're getting down to the wire. We have 2 more to go. VBA is good to know. If you have any questions, as always, please make sure to email me, and then I'll be happy to answer you. So anyway, enjoy, and that's the end of this discussion.